Hello everyone, I hope you're doing alright. Today's video is going to be a tutorial on how to fillet crochet using a triple crochet chain 2 technique. You guys might not know that there is more than one way to fillet crochet, and most likely the techniques that you have seen the most is a double crochet chain 1 or a double crochet chain 2 technique. Both of these techniques do the job, but they both have downfalls, such as a double crochet chain 1 sometimes has poor visibility just because there isn't that much contrast, especially if you do not use a small enough hook. Also, using a double crochet chain 2 can tend to squish your graphic a little bit, which can sometimes skew the image that you've created in your graph. But we have a solution for this, which is a triple crochet chain 2. Using this technique not only creates a piece that has a lovely contrast, it also creates a pretty even graphic, so your image doesn't get distorted. If you haven't learned how to fillet crochet, I would in fact suggest that you learn how to do it with a double crochet chain 1 first, just because that technique maths-wise is a little bit easier to understand. But if you already know how to fillet crochet, I really think you should learn this technique, just because for the majority of projects, this is going to yield the best result. This technique is especially good for small projects or projects that have a lot of detail that you want to ensure is visible. So I would say as long as you've done one method of fillet crochet, you should be fine to follow this tutorial. Let's get into the materials that I'm going to be using. I was going to use my 1mm hook, but I couldn't find it, so I'm using a 1.25mm hook and some mercerized cotton. This is a lace weight yarn and I'm not sure of the brand just because I got it secondhand at charity shop. Obviously you guys can use whatever hook and yarn combination you want to. I would just use the smallest hook that you can bear to work with. But I will say there's a little bit more leeway with your hook size just because we already have a large contrast, but past that obviously we're going to want to have a graph to follow. I will leave the one that I'm following in the description below, which is a graph that I've created of this leaf, which I'll put up here, and then you'll need scissors as well as a needle to sew in your ends. Now that we've gone through all of that, we're ready to learn how to do this technique. First, we need to figure out how many chains we need to start off with. The formula that I'm using is going to be 3 times the amount of boxes in the width of our graph plus 6. Now you can skip till this time point if you want to skip the explanation, but I'm going to explain this formula a little bit. So first we have our amount of boxes times by 3, and this is because each one of our boxes is representing 3 stitches. So that's either triple crochet chain 2 or 3 triple crochets. So either way, one box is going to equal 3 stitches, and obviously we need 1 chain for each stitch. Where this plus 6 comes into is because we need to add our turning chain to create that first box. So say we've only got 2 boxes to make, our first 3 chains are going to represent a triple crochet chain 2, and the second one is also going to represent a triple crochet chain 2. We actually need to add another stitch here because obviously we need kind of a stitch going like this to end that final box because our triple crochet is going to be here. Now we have our boxes times by 3 plus 1, but we need to add some extra chains ready to add our first triple crochet. When I do a triple crochet, I always chain 3 as my turning chain, so I would need to add 3 chains to get the height of that triple crochet, but also I need to account for this chain 2, so I'm going to add 2 extra chains like this. And what this will allow me to do is to then skip all of these chains and do a triple crochet here, to then chain 2, skip 2, triple crochet, and that creates our first box. And if we count the chains that weren't included in these repeats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we need to plus 6. And that's how I get this equation of the number of boxes in the width of your graph times by 3 plus 6. So for me, I have 21 boxes times by 3 and then plus 6, which is giving me a total of 69. Let's start everything off with a slip knot, and I'm going to go ahead and chain 69. Obviously just chain the amount of stitches that we've worked out just now. I have just worked those 69 stitches. I'm ready to triple crochet into the 9th chain away from my hook. So using the maths that I'm using, we're going to skip 8 stitches and work a triple crochet into that 9th stitch. We are going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this triple crochet is going into that 9th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This right here is my 9th stitch, and I'm going to find the back bump just because that's where I prefer to work into when I'm doing my first row after my chain row. And I'm going to do that triple crochet. As this first row has only mesh boxes, I don't need to worry about reading anything. My row now is going to be chain 2, skip 2 stitches in the row below and do a triple crochet into the 3rd available chain. Again, I'm working into the back bump of those chain stitches. So that is my first row done. I would just double check that you've got the right amount of boxes. So obviously each one of these holes represents a box. I'm all good. I'm ready for my second row. For this technique, our turning chain is going to be a chain 5, 3 chains to account for the triple crochet, and then 2 extra to count as the chain 2 in the triple crochet chain 2 repeat. With filet crochet, your turning chain is just equivalent to how many turning chains you would do for the repeat that you're using. So we're going to do those 5 chains and then turn our work. And I'm going to do my triple crochet right here because my first box is blank. If you had a filled box to start off your row, you would chain 3 and then do 2 triple crochets here. We've got to a solid box, and what I'm going to do is do 1 triple crochet into each chain. And what I tend to do, just to make my life easier, is I go through the front loop of that chain rather than both, just because I find it a little bit easier, and from my experience it looks just as neat. And again, I'm going to do another triple crochet, then I've got another triple crochet to do, which is looking like that, and then obviously I've got 1 mesh box and then a row of basically all solid boxes. For the mesh boxes, I'm going to chain 2, skip the chains, work in a triple crochet, and then for those solid boxes I'm going to be doing 1 triple crochet into each stitch. I'm going to continue building these rows as such. To be honest with you guys, there's not too much more that I need to go through. Filet crochet is one of those things that is kind of hard to start, but once you've got your first row, it becomes a lot easier. We're just going to continue following the graph. One thing you want to bear in mind with this project is it is not a symmetrical graph, so you want to make sure you're reading your row in the right direction. Anytime you read a graph in crochet, you tend to kind of go like this, so almost like snakes and ladders work up like that, and you can use the patterns in the row below to identify which way you need to read from. I'll show you an example of me doing that now just to make it clear what I'm talking about. I have just completed my 10th row, so I'm ready to start my 11th row. Obviously, as always, I'm going to start by chaining 5 and doing my first triple crochet. So let's say at this point I'm confused. If I look at what this picture looks like versus the bottom of my graph, I can see that this is flipped, so they're not facing the same direction. So that means when I'm working this way on my project, I'm working this way on my graph. So if your graphic matches what your graph looks like, the way you're working is the same way that you're reading. And if one is a mirror image of the other, then that means that these are working in 2 different directions. While I'm on the topic, I kind of use these grids like this to double check my placement. Obviously using these boxes to kind of like count up like this, just to make everything a little bit easier as to where I need to place those solid stitches. That's just what I tend to do. If you guys have any tips or tricks, please leave them in the comments below. You're just going to continue building up rows up until you've finished and your project is done. You can leave it like this. I'm just going to go ahead and add a lace border. I already have a video on how I approach this, which I will leave in the description below. This is what the final graph looks like. Even though it is a little bit more effort, to me, it just looks so much clearer and so much neater, and the boxes just look more square, so the graph just looks more proportioned. The one thing I'm going to warn you guys about is if you do a massive project with this technique versus like a double crochet chain 1 technique, you are multiplying the amount of stitches that you're going to have to do to follow the same graph, so that's something that you need to keep in mind. This technique is obviously more work, and that's kind of a fine thing to do with like smaller or medium-sized graphs, but with a huge graph, this might just be too much. And to be honest, if you're following a big graph, your visibility shouldn't be too much of an issue unless there is a lot of really small detail within your graph. That's just something that you guys should keep in mind. But I'm going to end the tutorial here. Obviously, if you have any further questions, please leave them in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe to this channel just because I post new content every week. I already have a playlist of Filet Crochet resources, so go ahead and check that out. If you guys have anything specific within Filet Crochet that you want me to go through, leave those ideas in the comments below as well. Other than that, check out my patterns that I sell on Etsy and Ravelry, as well as my other social medias. Can't wait to see what you guys make, so tag me if you end up using this technique, but I hope you guys enjoy and have a good rest of your day. I will see you in the next video. Bye.